So hello, everyone. I am so excited to share this with you today. And I also come with a bit of mixed feelings. So in Bravery and in connection with you, I live in Colorado. And my community has been deeply impacted by another mass shooting in the United States yesterday. Based on the timing, I'm going to guess that most of you are located on some of these time zones. So as we move through this, I just want to share with you in full bravery that that is part of my energy today. Okay? So with that said, let's dive in. So there is, and I hope that you can still see my screen. So there are 10 people on the line, and I'm really excited to share this time with you. This is interactive. I'm going to start with a story. So while I'm getting a story, if you do not have pen or a crayon or a marker in front of you, a pencil, all of these wonderful things, and a piece of paper, please do get that now. All right, so we are here to talk about building your brave to achieve your dreams. And this is inside of the emotional intelligence check. So welcome. Okay, so who am I and why am I talking to you about this? Well, my name is Nicole Steinbach, and I have a long name. In fact, I've been told my name is too long. I'm also very expressive, as you can see. I've been told I'm too expressive. I've also been told I'm too tall, these long arms. I'm too global, I'm too American, I'm too German, I'm too much of a traveler, I'm too curious, I'm all these things. And what I am here to share with you is that I may have been told all of those things, and I am sure you have been told those as well, and they are not true. And part of building our brave, accountability, and it's all founded on belief. So when I'm told I'm too tall, I get to decide what that actually means. I get to decide that these long arms and these long legs are the reason a little girl got out of moving water safely. Because my long arms and my long legs made it possible. I get to decide that I'm so curious, and that makes me one heck of an amazing coach, change consultant, tech executive, mom, all of these roles that I have. I get to decide that. And when I decide that, I begin to build my brave. Well, that sounds lovely, but how do we do that? How do we build our brave? In this presentation, I'm going to walk you through a fun, kooky, silly, but also super serious and effective framework for doing just that. To get us going, I need to ask you, what is one thing you want to be even more brave about? Because here's the thing. I'm just gonna build off of the foundation I know to be true. Bravery is a skill. You can build it. You are already brave. Think about all the car accidents. You still get in your car or other people's cars. Think about the mass shootings. We still go grocery shopping. Think about negotiating for our money, and we still do it. Think about having the conversation with your manager that you're ready for that next level of responsibility. Heavens, y'all, we are women in technology. We are women in security technology. I mean, come on, we show up and we are brave, okay? So we've got my authenticity. A fun thing I forgot to mention at the beginning is I actually have a stutter. I had a really bad stutter when I was younger, and I still became a public speaker. So totally possible. What else are you wanting to build your brave about? You don't have to share it here, but I'm telling you, this is an interactive session. So when you have your goal, you're going to enjoy the exercises way better. Okay? Way better. The reason I shared this picture here of me with a horse is a little bit ironic. So every time I give this speech, and I've given this speech all over the world, I have actually worked in over 25 countries. I'm a former tech executive at SAP. I did change in communications there. And now I'm a career coach, and I also do consulting in the privacy data protection area. And when I give this presentation, this slide is always different. Because if I'm going to ask people, what do you want to be even more brave about? I share something that I'm working on. So this is actually me. This is me with a horse. And this for me represents the bravery to approach my challenges and my growth desires from an unexpected angle that's neither comfortable for me nor something I have a lot of skill in. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually doing something that's called equine or equus coaching. I actually signed up with someone to break through a barrier, which you guys will be shocked at the she-curity, where I'm sure many of us have roles like caregiver. It was all about guilt. I couldn't figure it out. But this is what I am working on to be more brave. And I hope that you have yours now as well. Alrighty. So for the next period of time that we're together, a little bit more than a half an hour, I believe, these are the 4 steps that you are invited to join me on. Define brave. Walk through a simple framework. I'm going to I'm going to tell you about the science behind it. You're going to see the too fun, too curious aspect in the front. We're going to put that framework into action. That's where we're going to spend the most of our time. And I'm going to invite you to make a commitment to yourself. Okay? You are very welcome to pop on to chat at any point in time. As I said, I've worked on over presentation to large. I love your interaction. All righty. Interactive, you are invited to do this. This is your time. This is your goal. And this is an opportunity for you to step into it in a special way. Okay. So define. So I have already suggested, to be true, that bravery is a skill. You can build it, and that you already have it. Okay. So what's brave? What does brave actually mean? And when I'm in person with people, we have a conversation where people start shouting out examples, or if it's a situation where those apps, then people are like typing their little apps and there's a word cloud coming up. A lot of the times what comes up are things like Die Hard or the Avengers, going to war, crushing the competition, stopping a shooter, like all of these extreme, very masculine energies. And y'all, oh my gosh, doing something even though you are afraid. Ah, yes, feel the fear and step into it, right? Being comfortable and confident. Oh, Ashley, you are ahead of the curve here, my friend. So when I'm talking about brave, I'm talking about what Denise, what Ashley, what Jillian, what you have already shared. I'm talking about the inclusive, the masculine examples, former military, totally brave, and the feminine examples. I am a parent, I'm a caregiver, I have hard conversations, I grow, I spend time with a horse doing horse coaching, which is so wild to me. right? It's having difficult conversations with family members, allowing people to grieve, asking for more money, getting the promotion you deserve, okay? When we talk about brave, we're talking about these things. We're talking about this holistic view, the extension of bravery, okay? And I love these examples, so keep them coming. For the rest of the time together, every time I talk about brave, we're talking about this wholeness. You know, earlier today, in fact, right before I spoke, a person spoke about bringing the full self to work, this authenticity to work. That is an enormous aspect of bravery. And I have worked with some of my clients for a year to bring more and more of who they truly were into their tech career. And so if you missed that one, I would really suggest listening to the recording. She did a wonderful job around that. There was also a session around EQ, emotional intelligence, and that's also something that I'm building off here, okay? Because when we think about a very, very simple, and I'm not sure what's going on here with the PDF, but hey, it's hopping and we are going to love it and keep moving. This is the Build Your Brave framework. There are 3 parts because I am fun and kooky. This is based off of research as varied as the ProSci model for change, emotional intelligence, the 12 foundations for effective leadership, the 7 habits of highly effective people, and then of course the positive intelligence research that's out there, among many other things. There's some neuroscience research here about mind or brain sculpting, mental sculpting. But that's all serious and very heavy and boring, okay? So part of my brave and my personality and being my too much is having a lot of fun. So over the last 4 to 5 years, I've been taking these very stuffy presentations and I've been putting them into a framework that speaks to me, speaks to my client, and is way more fun to work through in a presentation. So 3 parts. These parts are utterly artificial, okay? So it's not like you do one and then you do the next one and then you do the next one, okay? We will together today, but we don't do that in our lived experience. It's just as we're working through it, okay? And I'm going to run through these very quickly. If you're like, what? Pop me a chat for sure. But also I have a podcast that goes through these a little bit more in depth. It's called Celebrate Brave. Okay, part 1, tell it to your dentist. So I've lived in a couple of countries, and I've also, because I was a global consultant, I was on the road a lot, and I don't have great teeth because I grew up in poverty. I have had dentists who spoke a variety of different languages in a variety of different places in the world. And somehow I'm always, and I think perhaps it's just a dentist thing, I'm with the dentists who want to like actually have a conversation with me while I'm leaning back, my mouth is open, and I got this stuff. I got this stuff in my mouth. It's like, what is happening? And so when my goal, when the you in the center, the goal, the personality trait, the habit, the mindset, the whatever, when it's so clear that I can tell it to my dentist, what open and the hands are coming in, it. And I know it concisely, I know it clearly, I know it thoroughly, and I believe in it. Okay? Tell it to your dentist. All about clarity. Part 2. And we're going to do exercises for each of these. Part 2. Experience it like a kindergartner. Experience it like a kindergartner. So this used to be learn it like a kindergartner. And then my clients were like, I don't know, that doesn't quite fit. And it took a while to get here, but now I'm here and it's resonating so much. So experience it like a kindergartner is called, it's a fun way to say the learn, act, cycle. So we learn just enough. We learn just enough to take an action, and we take just enough action to learn, okay? So neither are we Hermione, learning everything before we act. That's kind of where I go. Nor are we Ron, who leaps into action and isn't necessarily learning from the actions, right? And so why kindergartner? Because isn't that freeing? Think about a kindergartner, and they see a brand new toy. These kindergartners, and I speak from experience, I no longer have a kindergartner, sadly, but my children were wildly different. One would run and just instantly do it. Go right down the slide, hop on the swing, fall off everything, and it was fine. Learn from it, try again. The other one would look, experience, perhaps ask some questions, and then take action. It's about building the spiral. And there's going to be all kinds of experiences as we're going through it. Okay, third and final part, own it like a boss, because you are a boss. Let me be clear. You are not a lady boss. You're not a girl boss. You're not a mommy boss. You're not a chick boss. You are a boss. And that means mindset, beliefs, habits, relationships. It's all about accountability. All about accountability. And this is how combined together and leaving and looping amongst, we build our brave. Sounds so simple. And in some ways, it is very, very simple. It is not easy. So while I'm having a great time, my clients have a great time, it is not easy to go from a single mom welfare house with a stutter to becoming a global executive working in 25 countries, and now I coach women all over the world. I mean, it's my lived experience, and I say it and I still can't believe it. You have that story too. Was it easy? Of course not. Is it simple? Could be. Could be. So let's go. Let's go into action. All right. The first part of this, you wrote down what you wanted to be more brave about. Yeah, hashtag boss. That's what I'm talking about. Boss, not lady boss. Okay. I want you to write it down again. There is a power in your neurosculpting. Repetition is crucial. So when you decide to say, I'm not good at math, I'm not good at math, I'm not good at math, or the boys don't want me here. This is a male-dominated industry. The men dominate, the men dominate, the men dominate. Girl, it may be true. Even at the end of my corporate career, I was way too often the only woman with power in the room. And we all should have the power. We should have the money. We should have the personnel. We should have the decision making, right? This is how we get it. Okay, so you write down your goal. And the way you repeat it matters. It matters. Your brain responds. So you sculpt your brain with your thoughts. Your thoughts lead to your beliefs, and your beliefs lead to your action. Now, you can interrupt this in any way. You can enter in any way, but this is reality. And there's tons of neuroscience out there. The reason you're writing with your hand is, again, it's all about the brain into the action belief cycle. Again, tons of research out there, and there have been other sessions today who address this. When you say your goal, you make it specific. So I had a different goal. A mass shooting happened. I now have a very, very specific goal for today. My goal for today is to show up with my power, my authentic optimism, and inspire you to speak your truth. Once. That's my goal for today. See how it's specific? I could totally tell my dentist that. It's also in the present tense. I show up. I inspire. When you're telling yourself this in the present tense, it's literally changing how your brain thinks. You got to believe it first. You got to be clear and you got to believe it, because the outside bravery, all that's inside bravery. You know you're your worst critic. So you got to start with you. And at the same time, you build your outside critic. You tell 3 to 5 people. So right before I came on here, I'm on a girls' chat with my best friends. I've known them all since college, or since I first moved to Germany in 2003. And I wrote them and I said, I don't feel it and I don't want to show up. I want to have a temper tantrum. I want to drink really good wine and eat really good food because I am still alive. I want to have a temper tantrum. And my girls were like, all right, let's talk through this. Like, yes, you have every right to have a temper tantrum, and you get to show up. You get to inspire. And that is how I was able to craft, first inside of myself, my goal. I was able to write it down. I was able to play with it, and then I shared it with them. And my first goal was a little bit ambitious. I'll be true. I'm over ambitious sometimes. I also love to work, so I'm working on that. Coming to my problems from a different angle with horse, right? And we came to something together. So when you've now thought of 3 to 5 people, instantaneously write those names down. When you share to your 3 to 5 people, there are going to be a couple of pretty standard responses. The first one is, you've got this. In fact, you've already got this. Next goal, please. You could also have the response I had, which was, we love you. Let's look at what is truly going to give you energy and serve you. Another option is, you can't do that. You can't do that. That's the response. This is not the people. Write down another name and keep moving forward, because who you spend time with is what your reality becomes. And the fourth most common is, that sounds amazing. How can I help you? So you've written your goal. You've made it specific. You put it in the present tense. You've got the names of people that you're going to tell. Now, this is usually where I have people actually start reaching out to people and saying, hey, I want to have a one-on-one with you. I've got something exciting. I'd love to hear your input. By the way, everyone loves to be asked for input, so do it. Don't be shy. You're building your brave. You've got it. You're going to go to learn. See, that's how new it is. It should say experience it like a kindergartner. So for this one, again, rewrite your goal. Okay, you're going to keep rewriting it. You're going to write it every day. I'm going to show you. I'm a little bit inspired right now. Up here, every day on my daily planner are my goals. Every day. I can flip back as long as I want to, and it's going to be there. Okay. Some people call them affirmations. That works for me. That doesn't work for some people. That's okay. You can't see me. Oh, no. Okay. I'll show it to you when I come back, when I stop sharing my screen. All right. So reflect on your goal. What is a small action? And thank you for telling me that. What is one small action you can take? So one small action I took is, and you can't see it, but I have a handcrafted mug, and I put a glorious cup of coffee in it, because for me to be inspired, I need to be in peace. I need to have a little bit of calmness. I listened to some sound therapy, and then I put on my rage song, which is I Love Me by Meghan Trainor. Okay. And then what is one small piece of information you can discover? And what I did is I actually came in here. Oh, you can hear. Okay. Oh, guys. Okay, well, I am so glad that I am back. Thank you for your patience. Here's my handcrafted cup of coffee. This was the action I took. And the learn that I took was that it meant so much for me when I closed my eyes and I pictured the ripples that you all make in your life. And I know Denise, and she's amazing. And I thought she's probably going to be there, and her ripples are amazing, and that's what I'm going to learn. And I showed up. And I really want to inspire that for you as well, for your goal. One small action, one small learning. Okay? Again, this is usually where people now, they sign up for that newsletter. They set up that one-on-one with their boss in a couple of weeks. They look up if job apps are available for the role that they're going for. They say to their friend, hey, I love you. We need to have a conversation, right? For this, I want you to take this and know that when you do this small spiral, repetitively, consistently, we're seeing this consistently thing, repetitive, you will be blown away by how far you grow in your bravery in a short period of time. You will feel it. You will see it. It will be your reality. But about that reality, this is what a lot of people, what I even, I go into a change. I just had to do my bathroom because we had a water break. And I was like, okay, we do this and we do this and we do this and we do this. And there might be a bump, but I've so got this. You're looking for a new job. Okay, I need to decide what kind of job, what kind of company. I need to have my new resume. I need to write a cover letter. I have to do that for them all. I'm talking to my network. I go to interviews, and I will have my new job in the next 9 to 12 months is what I hear a lot of times because I coach senior women. Okay, it's totally human, right? I want to let you know this is what it actually feels like, according to many of my clients and myself. You know that bathroom, the pipes are irregular, then we had a clog, then the vanity that measured did fit, but it was uneven, and the sink got ruined, and oh my gosh. Or you're in the second row for that amazing project opportunity at work. You are going to run the security on that project, and then they choose somebody else. What? Oh, but they have another amazing opportunity for you. Awesome. What? This is what it feels like. Like, let's just be real. And this is what it can look like. The thing is on fire. There's like, is there a person in there? You're creating this change because you're being braver and you're having these conversations and you're building your skills and you're learning and you're taking action and you're getting clearer and you're telling your dentist. And the people outside of you are like, what is going on? What is happening? This is what it can look like. A little scary, uneven. Is it going to burn you? Is it going to burn out? What is happening? Here's my wish for you, and why I really recommend and why I always do this in an interactive fashion. Because when you're in the growth, when you're acknowledging your effort, when you are celebrating your success, when you are permitting yourself to be successful, when you embrace your power, when you fail and you know it's a lesson, you know it's a learning. Of course, you grieve and you get embarrassed and you drink tea or whatever your thing is, right? But you know it's a lesson. More and more of these moments. This is my wish for you. In these moments, I'm not saying you're always in it. I'm not always in it. I don't know anybody. If the Dalai Lama can say his biggest challenge is compassion, we are all growing all the time. But these moments are only possible with accountability. It is only possible when you own it. When you own your thoughts, You own your change. You own your growth. You know that your growth impacts other people, and that's great. And maybe it's just okay. When I went from being an executive to building my own business, that fundamentally changed my friendships, my self-identity, my marriage, my parenting. And some of those people leapt with joy. My kids are thrilled I'm not on the road all the time. Of course, I did this in I think it was 2019 or 2018. I can't even remember anymore because I've been at home for a year and it's been a weird experience. But other people were really upset. How you grow changes your relationships. How you think impacts how you behave. How you believe in yourself or not is up to you. This is you. This is your bravery. Most of the people I work with spend most of their time here, changing their beliefs, changing the thoughts and the mindset, changing the habits, being willing to work overtime for free. Getting passed over for a promotion again? No, sir. They hold important conversations with grace and then they own the clarity and they keep going with their experience. So, all that to say, what opportunity is in front of you that you are not grasping on? Is there a meeting you were invited to? Is there a skill you could learn? What are you not grabbing onto? Maybe there's a potential mentor and you're like, oh, I don't know if I can. Why not? And then what's an obstacle in front of you that you can address? It's not ready for, or it came too soon. The first time how I became a global consultant is a colleague of mine unfortunately got quite ill and couldn't go, and I was the only one without small children. And they said, hey, do you want to go to Norway? And I was like, oh my gosh, right? And was that too soon? I had no idea what I was doing. They gave me at the time a folder with a printed out checklist of questions. And that's how I went to Norway by myself. I'd never traveled by myself before. No, that's not true. I'd been to Spain, but I went by myself professionally. And was that too soon? Yeah, totally. Did it completely change the trajectory of my career? Absolutely. Absolutely. So what opportunity has come too soon? Or what do you need to remove? In Tell It to Your Dentist, who are the people in your life that don't want you to grow or change? How can you address that? Maybe that's not your first step, but it's something you got to look at. Oh, and by the way, please, these are not certifications and master's degrees, okay? This is behavior and beliefs, financial decisions, etc. And now here's the core of it. And this is where I'm going to stop for right now. What are you going to do about it? We walked through Tell It to Your Dentist, Experience It Like a Kindergartner, Own It Like a Boss. You have your statement at least 3 times. You have a list of 3 to 5 people. You have something you can learn, something that you can do, act. And you have an obstacle or an opportunity. What are you going to do about it? I'm going to give you a bit of silence, about 15 seconds of silence. Because here's the thing. You and you alone build your brave. You and you alone. So make a commitment to yourself. If this is a place where you feel this is a brave space, I don't create safe spaces. I create brave spaces, okay? So safe spaces like there's no accountability, brave spaces, that's what I create. If you feel this is a brave space for you, the chat's right there. Denise, practice and persist in learning to be my authentic self with confidence. Yes, because you rock. And if this isn't a place where you want to write this down, say it out loud. There's actually power in saying things out loud to yourself. So go ahead. I'll give you 5 seconds of silence. All right. Oh my goodness. I hope that you guys said something. I hope that you've made this commitment, because this is where the rubber hits the road. So here are some questions that I would love to spend the next 8 minutes with. You are welcome to ask me any question you want about the privacy work I do, the coaching work I do, maybe some of the challenges my clients have had, some tricks and tips and tricks, there with the stutter, as well as perhaps share your answer to some of these questions. We have, I believe we have eight minutes. So what surprised you the most? Okay, I was just getting confident with presentation in person, but now with giving presentations online, I get so, oh my goodness, this is brilliant. Yeah, it's so funny because the youngest generation that I've worked with so far actually are enjoying the virtual even more. They feel more comfortable, which I think is fascinating. So here is my suggestion to you. Really, really concretely, set yourself a very concrete goal. My goal is to survive this with a smile on my face, is a very concrete goal. Or the 2, 3, 4 things I want people to know is I'm competent, the project's okay, I want you to be really specific. Set an intention for everything. So tell it to your dentist. I have learned that if I print out my slides, if anything happens, I can literally, you ready? Literally hold them up. Can people read them? No, but they know that I'm over-prepared and I feel good, and that's wonderful. I don't think being over-prepared is always necessary, but for this, it makes me feel good. Okay, the next thing that I want to suggest to you, and this is recorded, so this is kind of funny, is you're going to stand up and you're going to give your body a nice big shake. And if you're in an office giving a virtual presentation, you're going to go to the potty, the bathroom, and you're going to do that as well. The reason that you do that is because neuroscience, right? So when your body is in stress, it's going to build up stress hormones, right? By the way, stress hormones also come when we're happy. So think about like when we're having happy stress, like we're getting married or we're buying a new house or we're having a great conversation. So think about like, how can I change this from, oh my God, I'm terrified, to what if I'm exhilarated? What if this feeling is exhilaration? What if I'm excited? Like that's one thing. But the other thing is you got to get those emotions, those hormones, you got to get them moving. And the way that we do that biologically is we move our body. So you see a hippo, the hippo is running and you run away from it. You get to safety. What tells your body that you're safe is that you moved and then you were still. And then you'll move again when you're safe. So force that with your body. It's called neurosculpting, and shake your body. I do it. I do it on recorded lines. It works. So that's mine. And then breathe. Yeah, breathing is really important. I would also really suggest that you work with a coach specifically on presentations and becoming more comfortable with that. There are coaches who are here today, but there's also an organization called Toastmasters, which I understand has virtual channels now. All right. You have a big capstone project presentation coming up. Oh, I learned a trick from a gentleman who is now the CEO of a major tech corporation, that he would have a costume. He has a costume that he would wear whenever there were these big ceremonies. Now, to other people, it just looked like an outfit, but it was a costume. And so what I started to do is I created costume things. And so right here, it's going to be very hard for you to see, is an octopus, because that's the animal I identify with. I'm not indigenous, so I don't have a spirit animal. But this is an animal I identify with, and I wear it here. Or you can tell how nervous I was today. I have two on. I have an octopus ring. And this is part of my costume for these big moments, right? And I got that from a guy who's now CEO. We all would know his name. All right. Yay! Career path change! Oh my goodness. I would love to know more. I'd love to hear more. So I'm dropping my contact information here. I'm also dropping the link to where these slides are. So if you'd like to have them in PDF form, they look exactly like what you're seeing. You're welcome. And then stay in contact. So join me at LinkedIn. I would love to hear, Mary, was it Mary? Mary, I'd love to hear about your career change. It's always exciting. I know that as I changed my career, it was so cool. Stressful at the time, but so cool. All right. You're welcome, Ashley. You're welcome. All right. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Okay. So what I want to leave you with is a quote from Admiral Grace Hopper. And the celebration is coming up. We need a lot of women in security to come to Grace Hopper and to present, because as we all know, there's a lot of silly ideas about what it is and what it isn't. But I'm going to butcher the quote, but this is the heart of it. It's better to ask for forgiveness than for permission. No one is ever going to give you the permission to be you, because they don't know who you are. Only you do. And you don't even know who you're becoming. So build your brave. Change your world, because that changes the entire world. So brave it up. Thank you, everyone. Oh, how can you get the recording? It will be made available by the organization, by this organization. They're sending out all of them. So if we miss something, we can be there. Great question. And thank you, Denise.